Green screen opens up possibilities to have virtually unlimited variety of different backgrounds, and some of those you can make yourself. Today we will go over tools in Davinci Resolve to make your own unique background and explain how it works best with available lights at your studio, office, or home. We'll navigate to the Fusion page and assuming that you have already done with the chroma keying exercise. If not, follow the link above. We'll first add a new background node, add a merge node, and connect background to background input and foreground to foreground input. By the way, to create a logical area for relative nodes, press Shift plus space on the keyboard, type UND, and choose Underlay. From now on, any nodes dropped into this area will be moved together. Great way to organize work areas in Fusion. To rename the underlay, press Alt plus left click on the underlay title and press F2. To move underlay independently from nodes, once again Alt plus left click to isolate underlay. To move all nodes with the underlay, simply click and move it around. Now let's explore the background node options. Select the background node and look at the available types. First is solid color. We can easily change color for anything we like. Next is horizontal. This is gradual transition between two colors. We can change left and right sides independently. Then we have vertical. Very similar to previous except gradation goes from top to bottom. Same as before, we can change top and bottom independently from each other. Next type is four corners. There we can assign a unique color to every corner of the screen to make more complex transitions. This is great for studio-like backdrop appearances. And last but not least is gradient. It has multiple subtypes. I personally use radial most of the time to mimic practical lights behind the model. We can move the focus point behind the subject, move the decay point to the corner of the screen to create a broad luma gamut, and then assign color to both ends. Move the focus point around to emphasize appearances and separation from background. And here are a few examples of how this all works together. We'll start with the simple horizontal type. Same color was assigned with different lumen intensity to each side to create a soft transition. You may have noticed yet another node called vignette. This is a great way to control light spread across the frame and condense it in the area we want. Without vignetting, the entire picture is flooded with intense light and it overpowers the subject. With advanced options, we can place the center of vignetting to accentuate attention to the face. There are options to control size, light spread from vertical to horizontal, the softness of the edge, and transparency. Here is an example of gradient type where two Monet points were added to create a more dramatic transition between colors. You can add as many as you like by clicking on the gradient bar and also remove the one you no longer need by selecting the triangle and hitting delete on the keyboard. In the next example, four corners type is used to make complementary background that doesn't compete but rather elevates the subject. Call it an interview style. Corners have a mix of warm and cold colors working together to slightly boost emotional contrast. Also, to prevent final render from color bending, add another node called film grain. It will force compression to work harder, but you wouldn't have those annoying harsh edging between color shades transitions. Now on to more exciting look. The gradient type with few extra knee points was used to create the baseline. The goal is to maximize foreground and background separation with color contrast, cold background and warm subject. It makes model really pop out. We are also introducing a new node called Fast Noise. This is to generate some movement in the background and if the light source would have some kind of dynamic interaction with the environment. It can also have its own colors, but we'll leave it to default for now. To create motion, I will put a small number in to see the rate. The bigger the number, the faster the motion. As you can see, when we play forward, the background starts to vary, and that's exactly what we want. Increasing the scale value, we can force the entire background to move to add an extra level of dynamics. For example, to simulate fog on stage. To further dramatize the look, we can add yet another solid color background to darken the area around the dancer, and also add circular polygon to contain the effect just around the subject. And lastly, increase the soft edge to smooth the transition. This will help with establishing the focus on the character and set folk more into the background. And finally, here's an example of classic dramatic shot. We want to fully utilize the contrast between light and dark parts of the subject by ever so slightly adding a little glow near the chin and the cheekbone area, decaying towards the shoulder line to create an illusion of spotlight hitting the backdrop. Also, we will add some colors to the upper right corner to recreate light bounce and soften luma balance across the frame. Background is an excellent tool to enhance the look and feel of your presentation. Create your own style and have fun with it.